Hi, it's Emma Monroe and you are watching Meet the Franchisor, the place to go to get all your questions answered from the franchise business that you may one day own. Today's interview is with Sarah from La Porchetta in Australia and New Zealand. So with no further ado, let's meet the franchisor. Welcome to Meet the Franchisor, Sarah.
Thank you, Emma.
Excellent. So we're going to jump straight into it, Sarah, and we want to find out more about your brand La Porchetta and what you stand for. So who is La Porchetta, and can you give us a bit of a background?
So La Porchetta has been in Australia since the 1960s. However, in 1985, Rocco Pantaleo and Felicia Nania bought a little takeaway rundown pizza shop, and they turned it to what it is today, which is an Italian casual dining restaurant, which is fully licensed with an a la carte menu. And, you know, I say where customers get together to share a meal, but, you know, it's really where people get together to socialise. It's not just about the food. It's about that whole experience of that Italian hustle and bustle. And we are at the moment also developing a prototype for simply takeaway and delivery as well.
Fantastic. And what's your involvement as CEO with the business, Sarah?
So for myself, currently, unfortunately, Rocky passed away in 2010. Felicia Nania is still company director together with myself. So I am the CEO, chair of our shareholders board, and also I drive the business into the future with a great team. And basically, you know, at La Porchetta, we say our franchisees and our customers make us what we are today. So I absolutely love being in the restaurant industry. I came into it in 1996, and I really love what we do, and we're currently developing new menus, and we've just done a new redesign of the restaurant, and I love the innovation in the business that we're doing for the future.
And you certainly drive that yourself, don't you, Sarah? We've worked together for a little while now, so I just admire what you bring to the table. It's amazing.
Thank you very much. I do have a great team. They say that you can't do things on your own, but absolutely I have amazing, you know, people talk about passion. I have love for the business. I absolutely love this business, and I absolutely love just, you know, giving someone a smile. I really enjoy it, and I do get involved with the team. I do try and stay away from the day-to-day running of the business and let them run their race, but I am involved in the projects with them.
Excellent. Now, Sarah, with so many franchisees that you've got now, what's the number at the moment?
Well, we've probably got about 56 to 58 franchisees, but we do have 63 restaurants in Australia and 7 in New Zealand, and we're soon to be opening in July in Albany, New Zealand, and Hastings in Victoria.
Fantastic. So growth is always an admirable quality in a franchise group. You can tell it's going well when they're growing. Now, what do you value in a franchisee?
Look, in a franchisee, passion for food, but first and foremost, love of people. In our industry, it's all about the customer. So if you don't love people, it's a very difficult industry to be in. Obviously, you know, combined with all of that is, you know, great ethics, work ethics, and, you know, a lot of our franchisees are owner-operated, and they're amazing people. So that definitely helps. You need resilience in the restaurant business. It's 7 days a week.
Wow, that is a big commitment, and obviously something that works very well for your franchisees.
Well, yes, a lot of franchisees tell me that what it's helped them to do, even though it is 7 days a week, obviously they don't work 7 days a week, but what it's helped them to do is spend more time with their young kids. and basically, in between the lunch service and the dinner service, they've got the opportunity to be able to go and pick up their kids from school and spend some time with them and then go back to the restaurant on the days that they're working. So even though it is 7 days a week, you can tailor it to suit yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as a franchisor, Sarah, we've already touched on this a little bit, but can you go into a little bit more detail about what you bring to the table as a franchisor and head office to a franchisee's experience?
I think most of us franchisors would like to say we bring everything to the table, but franchising doesn't work unless both the franchisee and the franchisor involvement is there. But of course, the obvious ones are system tools, support, and industry knowledge. But what I'd like to say is that we bring to the table a committed business partner. And as much as we treat our franchisees as customers, I see them as business partners, and a business partner that's committed to their success. Their success means our success. And at every point of the relationship, no matter what, both franchisees and franchisors are protecting the brand, but also it's a mutual success recipe, I say.
Absolutely. So, Sarah, being an established franchise and being in business for such an amazing number of years now, you would have got lots and lots of feedback from your franchisees over the years. What is the best part about owning a La Porchetta franchise?
What they tell me, is when they're leaving, we do some exit interviews, is being part of a loved brand.
Yes.
Sharing the experience with customers. And, to be honest with you, I had a restaurant, a franchise myself many years ago, early on, and I loved just bringing a smile to that customer. When you make someone's day, and our franchisees do this, they can actually change someone's mood. We all bring baggage along the way, and when we go out to restaurants, we'd like to switch off. And I think a lot of franchisees really love that part of the restaurant business.
Absolutely. And that leads me into the next question, Sarah, is that what does a franchisee's day actually look like? And it sounds like you can actually speak from experience.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this one here, like every franchisee's day is different. I'll share this with you. Some of our franchisees are absolutely hands-on, and they like to either work in the kitchen themselves or making the pizzas. And certainly our early franchisees, we've got some franchisees that have been with us for over 16 years. In the early days, absolutely, they started making the pizzas themselves. And, they really want to ensure that their food quality going out to customers is high. But, some of them and more like to be with the customer, and they actually like to service the customers, and they want to be out there interacting with them. And we've had franchisees that, will sit down and have a glass of wine or a coffee with a customer, and they absolutely love that interaction. Some of our franchisees, especially those ones that are multi-unit holders, they've got more than two or three restaurants, they have team leaders. And they only handle the business analysis and strategy. So typically our franchisees will be spending their time between organising their team, analysing the business performance and plan their strategies. A typical day, what is a typical day? A typical day of La Porchetta, not necessarily just the franchisee, is we've got in the kitchen the team busily making sauces and the pizza dough because we prepare on site. And just before service, so they make sure they've got all their fridges ready, everything in order from a food perspective, making sure everything's organised, ensuring that fridges are stocked and all their needs that they need for service. That's a typical day. And the franchisee, of course, needs to oversee all of that, and they all do it certainly in different styles.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it sounds like a very loving and passionate day. I like it. Now, just on the topic of multi-unit franchise owners, Sarah, some franchise models don't support that, but it sounds like with La Porchetta, that is a growth strategy that a prospective franchisee could eventually look at.
Look, we have very, very successful single restaurant franchisees, and
Yes.
owning it and running it yourself, very successful. But we're also finding that we're getting people that are getting involved in the business that love the restaurant business, but also have a bigger plan. One is not enough. One, they might get bored with one, so they want to have a bigger strategy. So we allow it. We've done it organically. We are at the present also developing a multi-unit accreditation model so that we can ensure that we can arm them a little bit further for that. And we'll probably have a multi-unit franchisee tasked to assist us with that. We've done a lot of the work on that. Having said that, you can have multiple La Porchettas, but you obviously need to have the financial backing behind it so that you don't use the cash flow from one to finance the other. So there's a lot of things a lot of boxes need to be ticked before you become a multi-unit owner.
Absolutely.
But we absolutely support it. Sorry about that, Emma.
No, you're right. That's fine. Good conversation. Now, talking about the investment model, what is the investment bracket that's needed for a single unit La Porchetta? So just a bracket.
Not including the exceptions. It's usually somewhere between 400,000 and 650,000, depending whether you go for our new model of the takeaway and delivery, or if you're looking at a dine-in restaurant with a full service. So it will, there are obviously exceptions, and it will also depend on the size of the restaurant. So it will depend how many square meters you're taking on. Our restaurants range from about 180 square meters to 400 to 500 square meters. So obviously the larger it is, the more it's going to cost you. So there are exceptions below and above that.
And do you have financing options for your La Porchetta brand?
We at one point did go down the banking accreditation line. What we've realised is, with everything having changed in the finance world, is that we now refer people to a broker that's fully independent from us, that can assist them, that really understands La Porchetta, and can assist them developing financial options for their specific needs, because everybody does it differently.
Absolutely, that's good to know, very good to know. Now, every business, Sarah, has challenging areas. What are some of the challenges that La Porchetta is facing, and what strategies have you developed to help overcome them?
Well, one of the biggest concerns that we've been working with franchisees on in the last 12 months is increased labour costs. We have a full service restaurant, and hence demands to make sure the balance between servicing the customer well and increase costs that may cripple a franchisee's profitability. So what we've done numerous things, but two of the specific things that we've done: in the last 12 months, we've released a new design for the restaurant, and with that we've created workflows. And the workflows of how it runs will make it more efficient and can service the customer well as being able to help the franchisee keep the labour costs under control. What we've also done is we've been working with our consultants and developing individual flexibility agreements for our franchisees that they can implement, because they do all the hiring, and so we're assisting franchisees with that. And we ran a workshop where we collaborate with them and they work with us on this, and it's been really, really fruitful, and we're about to release that in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. It certainly sounds like you have a true business partnership and supply your franchisees with lots and lots of really valuable tools.
We do our very best. At times it can become a challenge, but I think, you need to collaborate with the franchisees.
Absolutely. So if a new franchisee, a prospective franchisee, did come into the La Porchetta family, how do you see that relationship developing with yourself and head office?
Look, I will speak from my own experience, and I have been in this business, as I said, for quite a while. I may, give away my age, but I've been in franchising, yes, for 18 years. So what I find in this business is that when franchisees first join the business, yes, they're very excited, they love the brand, but what I also find is they're more needy from a training perspective. So obviously we have a full-blown induction program that involves practical training as well as some leadership and HR training. And so that happens very early on, and when they take on their own site, whether they're purchasing an existing one or one that's just a greenfield site, certainly, learning all the tools, how to use them, how to implement them. As the relationship develops, I think there is a transition. There's a transition of them settling into the business, and I do believe the timing is different for all franchisees. But over time, what I find happens is, and what we've done with our franchisees, we've introduced a franchise advisory committee. So it's a more collaborative approach, and they start working with us a lot more. They've learned, and they're coming back and saying, oh, but what about this, and what about this? And then the relationship evolves and to a more of a coaching role, rather than it's the coach and the person who's actually implementing the strategies. As the relationship evolves yet again, it's a full collaboration, and we've certainly got a few franchisees in this space, and the collaboration is really wonderful. We use franchisee ideas and feedback to really test them out and implement in the La Porchetta group to help us not only grow but also become better. And one of these things at the moment, we're working early days on a loyalty program that would best suit our business, because we're very different in this full service restaurant space. Franchisees are just saying, I want to trial it. So they actually will help us trial new ideas, and I think that's brilliant.
Absolutely. It certainly sounds like a beautiful experience, that journey of, developing that, coming from a new perspective through to, settled and, running the business, and then being able to step up and become a leader within your brand.
No, absolutely. I can honestly say, franchising is a wonderful space to be in, but we have to recognise that the franchisees own a business, and they can actually really collaborate with us to better our business. And it is, to my mind, one can't live without the other.
Absolutely.
We really need each other.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for giving us such a great insight into the La Porchetta brand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emma, for asking me to take part in this. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Now, for those of you that are watching this either live or afterwards, now that you have met Sarah in Meet the Franchisor, why not go over to laporchetta.com.au and you can send an inquiry in and ask questions directly yourself. Is that the best way to go, Sarah?
That's perfect. It's laporchetta.com, and in New Zealand, both for Australia and New Zealand.
Excellent. So if you liked this interview, and I certainly enjoyed talking to Sarah always, if you enjoyed it, please like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with your friends. Till next time on Meet the Franchisor.